as a manager, 22 years.
Crazy.
Just wondered if you could give us your thoughts on getting to that landmark and maybe the biggest lesson you've learned in that time.
Oh, yeah, so the first thing I never thought about these kind of numbers, and never would have thought that I will be allowed to do it for that long. But somehow it went really quick. And that's obviously the thing, you have to work pretty much through 22 years and then you can somehow arrive there. Otherwise, with a few, the clubs would have sacked me a bit earlier than a year on break, then I'm sitting here and I'm 60 and then I have maybe 1,000. So it's a massive thing. I feel really blessed. I have obviously 3 fantastic clubs, which gave me the opportunity to do the job. So that's what going through my mind. It's not. I don't think I learned. I learned a lot, obviously, but I wouldn't know what is the most important thing I've learned. But it's when this week people told me, because I forgot it, that it will happen. Then I really start. Then it come pictures just coming up, and the start at Mainz. The start at Dortmund, the start here, all these kind of things coming up, and when you come in somewhere, you never know how it will go. And I was really lucky with all the things that happened, and so it's a crazy number, honestly, 1,000. But the beard is now really grey. It was not the case when I arrived here. I'm not sure that's because of the age or because of Liverpool, but it's fine. In the best time of in the time when I probably was full of power and still am, I did the job I loved for the clubs I love. So, absolutely, I'm blessed with that, 100%. That's what I feel.
And frustrating at times, but you're still enjoying it?
Absolutely. Absolutely, it's part of the deal that you have, and when you do 1,000 games, it would be interesting. Maybe people should get an honor for 1,000 good games. So that would take much longer. I'm not sure anybody could get old enough for that. So they were not all good, and not all the paces were good, but most of the time it went in the right direction. And what you learn in these times, football problems you solve with football, and there's a way out of each situation in football. That's how it is. So that gives you. I didn't know that 22 years ago. Meanwhile, I know that. I learned it the hard way, and that's all fine. It's not. It is the best for me, the best job in the world. It's not a relaxing job. It's not a job where you have a lot of holiday or whatever, especially up here not. But I love it, and I feel really blessed that I can do it because it's actually the only thing I really can do. So nobody would ask me any kind of question if I would not be in football. So not that I would miss that, but just to say that would be a very calm life, and I'm absolutely fine with the excitement, the pressure, the outstanding moments and the lesser good moments. I'm absolutely fine. It's part of the deal. Nobody wins all the time, and I knew that early, and so I don't expect it, but I still try to do it as often as somehow possible.
And in terms of the game tomorrow, you look at the league table, it looks very strange. 9th against 10th. This one against Chelsea. That looks really odd.
Yeah, true. When we did the analyze meeting and you get a list from the other team and then so see injuries, I think it's the only team with a similar injury list like ours. Yeah, it's tough. That's the biggest problem. We can just go through it and without now, honestly, Arsenal deserves where they are in the moment. Huh? Play outstanding football, top. But cut out 5 players or 3 of their offensive players. So, and nobody would think, oh, where are you? So that's how it is. The injuries are a massive problem, and Chelsea has them as much as we have. It's not the only problem, but it's a big problem, and so that's why I'm not surprised that they do not play well. But then you look at the games they played, and they lost quite a few in the last few weeks, but against teams in form, I would say. They played twice City, they played for sure Newcastle, so it was not now where you think, okay, they should give them 6-0 and send them home. So it was a tough period because when you watch Chelsea, there's still a lot of good football. in a game. It's a bit of a situation. Don't say we played now particularly well in the last weeks, but when you don't use your own chances and your opponent used the first, that's a good sign for a bad period. And that happens a little bit more often. So I said, don't sit here and think, okay, thank God Chelsea's coming. They have even bigger problems than us. No, I know how good they are and can be. And will be the next tough game.
It's half time in the season as we get to this game. You've got FA Cup, you've got Champions League, you've got that 10-point gap to close. What do you need, what do you demand now from your team in the second half of the season?
Again, consistency in a good way, so that we have to, consistently up to it. That we have to defend on an incredibly high level, but what we didn't do often enough, and based on that, we will create chances. There's no doubt about that. Will we create then immediately 20 a game? Probably not. But that's not the main issue. We have to. The game against Wolves, I know, was a very good example. So everybody felt in the game, winning or not. So of course the end was a bit hectic again, and maybe there was not a big chance. But if they score a goal there, and we go to extra time, and I wouldn't have fancied that, to be honest, after such an intense game. But a lot of things were what we have to do, look like the things we have to do, and that means we have to defend together, everybody. And that's what I said, and that means defending you cannot do by moving a little bit here or there. That's intense. Was never different, will never be different. Nothing to do with style or whatever. You can have the deepest defending on the pitch if you're all together. That's intense, and we have to show that we are ready for that all the time, and that's what we try. And it was a really nice sign. This Wolves game was a really nice sign. It's possible after 2 days, after a real low point, going there, making 8 changes, and be really together. Be really together. Go there, and we played good football stuff. A lot of moments, much better than before. Didn't end always in a chance or whatever, but how we worked together, how we played together, how the distances were. So many good football things. Well, like for a coach, when you sit later there and watch it again, you think, okay, that's different. That's what we try to build on now.
Ian, PRP.
Hi Jürgen. Graham Potter's at a very different stage of his management career at Chelsea compared to you here at Liverpool. Going back to some of the stuff that you were saying at the start of the press conference, what do you remember about the moments when you first stepped into this club and you were trying to make them play your way and change things your way amidst all the noise, the scrutiny, the opinions of everyone else?
Oh, I was blessed that time because my English was not good enough, so pretty much what you said I didn't understand. Most of the things didn't read too much. That's probably Graham's problem that he is English. and I tried to get used to all the stuff, what I really had to do, and was not worried about anything else. So it's if the owners are not happy, they will tell you early enough. So why should you worry about that? I didn't think about these kind of things. I just was working. And try to sort the situation. I know that Graham will do that. It's a massive task to work for a big club, but in a best possible way. You ignore the size of the club. It's like not thinking about it or whatever. That happens later when I've realized when how big Liverpool is, but you realize it when you go abroad, and because you think, oh my God, here they are all crazy as well. So these kind of things. But there's no advice I can give or whatever, and he doesn't need at all. So he's a fantastic coach, and showed that for years and years. But with the amount of injuries, that's difficult. It's difficult, and that's all. I don't think you can compare any kind of situations when you come to a new club. And I think is it the same like this? I think Liverpool was not in a top place. Like it was not so difficult to improve. Let me say it like this. But I think for Graham that was more difficult because I think Thomas did a pretty good job. Was not the best moment maybe, but did a pretty good job. And that's then always when then people start to compare. That's then not cool. But they will get through this. Hopefully not tomorrow, but then for sure.